here at World 83 Tower over in Daegu, Korea. We are, of course, here today with day number 1 of the King of Battles, Batallas de las Reyes. I think that's what it is. Number 2 overall, 2021. I'm, of course, Yakuzaku of Zaku, and with me today, El Pescador de Final Fantasy que aún no ha completado de Witcher, Light_VIP. How we doing, Light?
Oh, what's up, Yaku? Yes, we are here. We are back with a brand new tournament for us, at least. It is, of course, as you said, G Fuel King of Battles number 2, the very first qualifier. And oh my god, mate, as soon as I saw the bracket, I was like, mate, this is what it's all about. Usually we're casting events with the C boys, with the OCE boys, and yo, here we go.
Here we go indeed, kicking things off on Berliningrad LE in the top left-hand corner map, spawning all the way. In the top left-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player coming down from the land of Korea. He is, of course, going to be representing Team Envy. We have DongRaeGu.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Berlingrad LE, we have the Vietnamese Zerg player. He is red, representing the Juggernauts. Going for a pool first, it is MeomaikA.
And this is, without a doubt, the matchup that we had to go for once we saw it. I remember we saw there were a couple of possibilities before the bracket was actually finalized. We were kind of keeping our fingers crossed that a few of them would stay. I personally wasn't. I was hoping that only one of them would remain the same so that we wouldn't have to make a decision, right? But thankfully, this was one of them that did end up staying the same after the bracket was finalized.
Mate, that was
MeomaikA barely avoids.
That was so close for us. So for a split second there, the Overlord did actually spot the Ling. For one split moment, like less than a second. I'm not too certain if that was spotted. It looks like it hasn't because the drones are on the low ground as the Lings are trying to slip past. Again, Berlingrad is the smallest map in the current map pool. The Lings are going to be slipping in, and again, MeomaikA is looking for some drone damage.
But is he going to be able to get it? DRG trying to buy himself a little bit of time. Already a pretty good surround for MeomaikA.
Yeah.
Splitting up these Lings.
Exactly. Already gets a kill on one of the Lings of DRG. Almost a second. He has to be covered not to be surrounded by the drones. Again, DRG, his drone micro is pretty good, but he loses one of them.
But it seems to be only one for now. Maybe another. No. Quick enough on the mineral walk. And of course, the Queen will prevent the Lings from getting too over-eager.
Yeah, exactly. Only one drone kill, not the best there. I mean, MeomaikA does at least catch up in terms of the worker count. He did go for a much later hatchery, so it's important that he was able to do that. And we can see he did not skip Ling speed, but he is still going for a very fast Roach Warren.
Yeah, honestly, pretty surprising. I expect him to either completely skip on the Ling speed to go for a quicker Roach Warren, or just skip that out entirely and decide, you know what, Roaches are what we need with +1 range, but instead he's going for a bit of a mixed composition.
Yeah, and this makes a lot of sense because again, like, aggression hits so quickly on this map. We have nothing but Lings in production, by the way, and we're going to be flooding across the map. Finally, DongRaeGu has spotted it, but you know what? He doesn't have a Bailey Nest. He's skipping the Bailey Nest entirely.
Interesting. Well, without +1, it might be a little bit tough for MeomaikA to break on through, but these are still very weakened Evo chambers, and you can't transfuse buildings while they're in mid-morph.
Yeah, exactly. He does take down one of the buildings. He's going to try and break through the Queens as well. The Queens do not have enough energy for transfuse.
And I think MeomaikA might barely be able to break through. Are there enough defenses behind us? There are a couple of Lings for DRG, and they are fighting within a choke point. MeomaikA should not be able to break through here.
Yeah, exactly. There are just far too many Lings here for DongRaeGu. Speaking of skipping Ling speed, by the way, DongRaeGu, he did just very that. He skipped Ling speed, but the Roach Warren was the one building that was cancelled there, so his Roaches, his follow-up, is going to be so late.
Yeah, nice targeting from MeomaikA earlier on. Meo shouldn't be able to get too much drone damage here, but he gets a decent scout. Has he seen the Roach Warren being remade?
He did spot the lair, he spots the lack of gas, and soon, if he gets far enough, he will just barely. Yes, he does scout the Roach Warren.
Well, it was enough of a tell earlier on, but now he just about confirms it. Turns around with his own Roaches.
Interesting. Honestly, like the Roach won't just finish up. The Roaches would be hitting right now, but it is a really difficult like place to push in. Like there are a lot of lings, there are a lot of walls as well, a lot of SimCity. There's a world where maybe he could have broken through, but I guess MeomaikA didn't want to risk it.
Yeah, even with Ravagers, it would be hard to pile off that down. Plus, without Carapace upgrades or even +1 range upgrades, your Roaches are looking primed to get taken out by the Lings.
Yeah, exactly. Now we're in a really interesting place. MeomaikA is ahead in the workers. He's down when it comes to the tech. His lair is so much later compared to DongRaeGu, and DongRaeGu is taking full advantage of that. He isn't just getting Roach speed, but he also throws down a Spire.
Just about skyrocketing ahead here. Yeah, thankfully for MeomaikA though, he is making up for that a little bit by getting a quicker third base, but DRG already sees it. He knows exactly where to position his mutas when they come out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, MeomaikA still needs to scout this. That's the problem, right? Like, he doesn't know what necessarily is coming his way. He did scout the early lair, and that is a tell for a fast Spire, but he doesn't know for certain. He is looking to go into his own Spire, which is very risky. Like, Muta versus Muta, when you're down a Spire, so you have later Mutas, it's so difficult to pull off.
Yeah, even with upgrades. I feel like your best bet there is to try to bait the Mutalisk into Spore Crawlers, but at this point, MeomaikA is trying to cut corners so he can catch up on that tech.
Yeah, that he is. We'll see if he can do so. Meanwhile, the Lings are trying to slip past everything, but DRG, he's just too fast. He's just too good. He wars off with what little Roaches he has. MeomaikA does confirm that only one of the Evo chambers is upgrading, and that's a little bit sus. You know, like, if we were seeing a Roach commitment, and if you had 3 Evo chambers, at least 2 of them should be upgrading.
Yeah, I mean, you were forced to make 3 Evo chambers, might as well make use of them, right? But DRG isn't really. He does go in for a scout with his Overseer, will scout the Spire on the way.
Yeah, exactly. So DRG knows exactly what MeomaikA is up to, I should say. Meanwhile, MeomaikA's trying to find some value with his Lings. Unfortunately, he made them earlier, and he just hasn't really been able to do anything with them. Mutas have finally been confirmed, and MeomaikA, can he do anything about it? Like, if he's not too careful, he may just straight up lose this third.
He has no anti-air. He's gonna try to get some Mutalisks out right now, but they are right on top of the rest of the production. One Queen in position for the anti-air, but all Meo is really looking to do is buy time for his own Mutas to get out. Is he going to be able to do it? Already 6 drones have gone down.
Exactly, and in come, like, the Mutas do back off, okay, from DRG, thankfully. MeomaikA actually has the Muta lead, surprisingly enough. He does have the vast amount of Mutas here, so maybe he could make something happen, but DRG, he's already getting spores.
Yeah, MeomaikA will be able to win a fight, but he's not going to be able to get any counter-harass done anytime soon.
Yeah, especially because MeomaikA is supply block. 7 overlords were just made. To try and break out of this. A couple more overlords are going to get picked off.
Like so. But it does draw the fire. Oh, does draw the Mutalisk a little bit out of position. MeomaikA try to catch them. He will get one, or no, or not apparently.
That was so close. He almost got one, but DRG, his reactions were just too fast there, so he does back off. And things are slowing down a little bit here, but I'm really concerned because look at the worker count. Like, MeomaikA barely has any drones.
Yeah, I mean, 60 isn't that much, to be fair, but when compared to what MeomaikA has, DRG may as well be in the stratosphere when it comes to minerals.
Pretty much, mate, pretty much. And MeomaikA's not making any more drones. It's a very interesting decision here by MeomaikA. Like, he has the smaller army, he has a smaller drone count, he's trying to get a 4th base, but DRG is just too good, he's just too on top of everything. And MeomaikA has to go for a bit of a Hail Mary play. I was thinking maybe a Ling run by could work, but like DRG, his army is here protecting his 3rd.
What about a Bane run by? Oh, but he doesn't have Baneliness. I still support the dream though.
Maybe. I mean, right now the Muta count is actually even. The upgrades for both players have finished up. The
Muta count is even, but who has the better control? So far, DRG it's just able to delay a 4th base once again, not taking any casualties.
Yeah, and the problem is that right now they both have +1 for their own Mutas, but DRG is about to have 1-1 if the game goes on long enough. So MeomaikA has to make something happen soon, otherwise he will be left in the dust.
Well, already he decides to pull the trigger, at least when it comes to the Sky Army, but here comes the Ground Army of DRG, looking to collapse entirely on top of the bases of MeomaikA. Meo going for a bit of a Hail Mary, going for a full-on base trade.
Yeah.
Does he have enough? Maybe.
I mean, he's winning the fight in the air, it looks like, and we're going for a full-on base trade. You don't see this too often in ZvZ, but let's go. It's going to be difficult for the mutas to get much damage done because of these spores, but again, Muta is taking out the majority of the mutas in the sky, and MeomaikA, he's getting into the main.
Yeah, a little bit of an anti-timing here for MeomaikA, able to take out most of those mutalists before +1 finishes up for DRG, but in the end, he was not enough at all. DRG didn't even pull his army back because he knew he had enough to clean up Meo's base, and if need be, turn around. And he had defenses back home with spine crawlers and spore crawlers. DRG takes game number 1.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god. GG, well played. Yo, MeomaikA, there were a couple of nice moves there, I have to say, but it just barely wasn't enough to close it out versus his opponent. Hey, DRG, he's good for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, DRG almost got Meo TM.
It's true. I was just so impressed that despite like a much later Spire, MeomaikA was able to even out when it comes to the mutas. It did cost him drones though, like that's the kind of downside of it, but yeah. I was very impressed.
I definitely was as well. It's part of the reason why I was so excited to get this particular match, because DRG has been popping off quite a bit, particularly in Stay at Home Story Cup. Personally, I felt that it was looking really impressive, but that was in ZVT and ZVP. ZvZ is, and if we'll remember, ZvZ is of course where MeomaikA gets a shine. But regardless, we are going to be continuing our series here on Curious Minds LE. We're in the top left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner. We, of course, have a blue Zerg player coming out from the land of Korea. He is going to be representing Team NV. We have DongRaeGu.
And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Curious Minds, we have the Vietnamese Zerg player representing the Juggernauts. It is MeomaikA.
Another very small map. Coming out twice in a row. It's a third map? No, it's not in the map pool, is it? Let's say it's a third map. Well, I was gonna say Beckett Industries, but I say that Heartwire should be in the map pool, so.
It is. Blackburn is as well, which I think would be the next smallest map in the map pool. I'm pretty sure it's smaller than this when it comes to rush distance by ground.
Yeah, by ground, definitely.
Yeah.
Curious Minds. I mean, these two are straight up the smallest maps in the current pool, aren't they?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, this is very reminiscent to Lightshade. The big difference is, of course, this third base is incredibly wide open, so this is very heavily Zerg favored in ZVT and ZVP. But in ZvZ, we'll see what happens here. I mean, MeomaikA did go for another early pool and early gas, so link speed is already on the way. We already have 4 links, but it is only 4 links, so really this is just for MeomaikA to gain that map control. But it's MeomaikA, so at any moment it could just make a wave of links.
Pretty much. This is 4 links to go for a scout, and as you said, try to establish a little bit of map control early on, make sure that DRG doesn't completely come in and flood with links. But once an opportunity is sent, you have to know that MeomaikA is going to hold down that Z key, and he does. 6 more links are on the way.
Oh yeah, that they are this time. Ooh, very interesting. DRG does not skip the Bailey Nest this time. He actually gets it incredibly early and hidden in his main.
Well, he's gonna need that because a whole lot more links are coming out from MeomaikA.
Yeah, and I'm really concerned. He's getting an Evo Chamber. I imagine this is a +1 melee, so he's going to be link flooding, and we've seen MeomaikA go up against Bailings before, mate.
We really have, haven't we? But who knows? Maybe he'll surprise us and get +1 Carapace instead.
That would be crazy. I would love that. Not gonna lie, that would be insane.
Yeah, no, that would actually be a really one solution to MeomaikA's Baneling problem.
It really is. For those wondering, MeomaikA, he's not necessarily known for his best Ling Bane control, and he does take a lot of them to the face. Meanwhile, we'll see how we go. The Lings are about to flood in. The first Baneling isn't done yet, but he does get spotted. MeomaikA, he pounces on it.
doesn't finish. Ooh, I got very worried for a second there, Light.
Oh my god, the boys.
Flood in before DRG can really get any links of his own out.
Yeah, and you know what? MeomaikA's already dealt some damage. 4 drones have already gone down, but MeomaikA has to be careful. There are 2 more banelings behind this being morphed in. Meanwhile, there are 3 banelings across the map, actually. The queen's gonna go down.
Counter damage potentially. Oh, the queen would have went down if not for that baneling. But the queen, it's still looking vulnerable.
He wants it.
And he gets it.
He wants it. He doesn't get it. But he does get 1 queen. He does get 1 of the queens. Meanwhile, the baneling's going to be waddling in. MeomaikA, you have to be so careful. He's going to be able to target down 1 of the banelings, but he has to split. Up, up. Oh, never mind.
No, he still has to split. Because even if this baneling doesn't kill the drones, the rest of the links will. DRG counterattacking hard here.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. The queen goes down. What does MeomaikA have left? He barely has any lings. He was droning up behind this. Look at the worker count. He's ahead. But he is dead as DRG takes the series 2-0.
That just shows you the power of the baneling, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Oof.
Well played there for DRG.
GG, well played, as DongRaeGu does take the series. And yeah, he did come in as the favorite, to be fair.
Yeah.
We're kind of fans of MeomaikA, so we wanted to see him do well, and honestly, he didn't look bad. He didn't look bad there in that series.
Yeah, I definitely believed a little bit here in MeomaikA, because again, his best matchup is ZvZ, and DRG historically not necessarily known for his own ZvZ. MeomaikA did make it closer than I think a lot of people were expecting, at least in game number 1. Even in game number 2, he had some really good, cool moves that unfortunately didn't quite pan out in the long run. Again, banelings, man.
Yeah.
You can't link Bane without the Bane.
Exactly. It's so unfortunate that MeomaikA as well was droning up instead of making another wave of lings, right? Like at the end there, he was ahead like 7 workers, where those 7 workers could have been 14 lings.
Yeah, no, that's actually a lot earlier on in a ZvZ, because you don't have that much larva.
Exactly. Ooh, so that was so close, but in the end, MeomaikA gets knocked down, not out of the tournament. He gets knocked down to the lower bracket. As a reminder to everyone, it is double elimination.